Welcome to Frozen in 3D.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Welcome to Frozen in 3D today, where we are going to be talking about whatever we want because that's how we roll. I am Joshua Taylor with my co-host Corey Sachs, who looks like he's terrified of what we're doing so far. What? Should we do another take?
No. I'm good with this one.
Okay. So today we're going to be talking about a couple different things. We've discussed... So we played, in our last Let's Play, we played Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. And by we played, it was mostly me playing. I think while we were not recording, too, I was playing, waiting for everything to get set up, just because it's so much of a fun game.
The first half is you.
Most of it.
Because I had to take 3 shots because of you. You died 3 times with your stupid time trial. Because you were like, I'm good, but with every shot, you got a little less good.
That's how it works, right? I'm better at Crash Bandicoot the more alcohol I've ingested.
You were the best, playing at the time. At least. Which is bad news whenever the controller went to anybody else.
Well, that's going to get cut. Anyway.
I forgot to turn my phone off.
So after playing the remaster, I know I started thinking about it, you started thinking about the effect it had kind of on the gaming community in general. You and I work for a company that we see people purchasing games on a regular basis.
They go nuts for remakes.
Not just remakes, but old school,
Yeah.
like retro stuff. The retro is in the gaming industry now, baby. And I mean, just the people asking about the Super NES and all this other junk.
Yeah.
But what I wonder is, with the success of Crash Bandicoot, what is the difference between that remaster versus some other remasters that haven't done nearly as well?
Like what? I mean, Silent Hill took a nosedive, but that was kind of because of the fact that it was garbage, and they replaced all the meaningful sounds and parts of the games that I don't know. Apparently they lost it all, and it's like, so just don't make the remake.
So I think the difference, I guess Halo Combat Evolved was a full remaster.
That was super glitchy
when they did that. You know what I'm talking about, though? When they first did the anniversary edition.
Yeah.
You could flip-flop back between the two graphics.
You could? I didn't know you could do that.
You hit select, it flips between the two. I really wish
instantaneously?
Yeah. Oh, shit. I really wish they did that with Crash, because while I was playing it, there were times where I'm like, man, this is great, and the graphics didn't shock me as much. And then you look at photos of them side by side, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah,
or you see the intro of it, and like, ugh.
Before we played, the day before, Brisbane got to play it for the first time, and he was like, I want to see a video of a side by side, and I showed him. He was like, holy shit, because I didn't honestly play the second one. I played the second one a lot as a kid. Me and my sister played it all the time, but then I was like, I don't remember this level. And then, one thing would happen. I'd be like, okay, I remember this level, but it didn't look like this. Because, the HDify, I don't know.
Some of the levels were brighter.
Yeah, they made it way crazier. And I was
So, I guess this is one of the very first and only super great, remasters. Where they took the game and from the ground up redid it with new... next gen graphics as opposed to 1996 or whatever when it came out first. But I think it was. See, I don't want the company the industry in general to be like, this is what consumers want. Let's just go ham. I would like to see.
Doing that, right?
I would love to see a Spyro.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking about that.
I don't think there's any person on the planet that would be like, no, Spyro remaster. No, after the success of the Crash Bandicoot remaster, why not?
Plus, that game was really. It's weird to say this, but as a kid, I had a harder time with Spyro than I did with Crash. Spyro because it was one that was it dealt a lot with the old style, kind of like Kingdom Hearts, where they're they tell you where you need to go without telling you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're I need you. The only way to get past this point is to find a keyhole or something, and you have to actually go look for it. And they give you context clues as to where that actual thing is.
Yeah.
But it's not like Skyrim where they're literally go here. Go here. Yeah.
So, that begs the question, is this, if, with the success of the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, is it going to spawn
spawn jerking it?
No, this is a motorcycle.
Oh.
Is it going to spawn more of these super successful remasters of old games from the bygone era, which you and I grew up playing, and I'm sure a whole bunch of you guys have played as well. And if they do, is it going to be good for the industry, or is it going to be bad for the industry? So we can kind of go through some pros and cons. I've been thinking about this a lot. A lot of people were like, Crash Bandicoot's a lot harder than they remember it to be.
I knew it was going to be. Like, Brisbane and Daniel were playing, or no, it was just Brisbane. He was playing that same time I was telling you before we recorded the drunk video, and he was like, this is so easy. We were fighting Rue on the second game.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's way harder than you think. And then, like, right when he was about to take the last health bar, like, after that, it just went downhill. Like, he kept getting murdered. Then he started getting killed on, like, the first life. And then, like, it was crazy. So, yeah, I remember it was really tough. So I knew going in, I was like, this game is not to be messed with.
But, so, I know personally, I was like, man, this game, especially the first game, I was like, the first game was hard.
Yeah, it was really hard.
The high ground is one of the most annoying levels. I don't even think you've got to that point in the game yet.
No, I don't think
You're
so.
going to pull your hair out, man. And I know a whole bunch of people who have played it. Pretty much, we have the norm. Like, it's a consensus. Everybody agrees.
Oh, they're just like, this is the hardest level in the game.
It's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
Oh, great.
That and another bridge level, but I can't remember the title of that one. I think it's
The
like
dinosaur level in the third game is hard.
yeah, but
You
so
said,
I
like that level.
nothing compared to the high
shit.
ground. I would play hard levels, and then I would be getting frustrated. Be like, at least it's not the high ground. But I just finished the whole Insane trilogy about a week ago. Not even a week ago.
That's right. You did
Couple
tell me
days
you
ago.
finished it. Yeah.
I think 5 days ago or so. Last Thursday. What day is it? Yeah. So I'm thinking, because it is harder. The game is actually harder. The way when they remastered it.
Oh, really?
The first and second game, the jump mechanics are different. They're more of the third game jump mechanics. And then back in the day, when you'd be able to land on like an edge, say this is the platform.
Oh yeah.
You could land with Crash's feet like hanging off the side of it, and you wouldn't slide off.
But
you
now
just
you
land
just
it. You
go
slide off of it.
Yeah.
The hitbox for his landing is so much smaller than it used to be now. So you have to have precision to it.
Because that's how I used to get around. So when I was a kid, I actually didn't know how to do the long jump. So that's how I'd get by. I'd get a lucky jump where like my feet were like, this is the ground, and like those are his feet. His like tippy toes are touching it. But like now I can't get away with that. I actually had to learn like the game mechanics and like try really hard.
Yeah.
It's so, that game is just like.
But so that now that it's out and we've all got to play it, I think there are a lot of benefits for the gaming industry, because people were going, oh, this game is a lot harder now than we remember it being. And even though the game designers did change it a little bit, the game was still challenging.
Yeah.
That begs the question, are we as gamers now focused on different aspects of playability? I think, because back in the day, Crash Bandicoot doesn't really have a story. It has,
no, not really.
It has a coherent story from the first 3 games, but it's not like super in depth.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
like
nothing
you play
like,
it because of the.
It's
story.
not going to make you cry.
Yeah.
You played it for the platforming and just to have fun.
Yeah,
and
like to play the levels.
I think gaming has gone away from that mechanic.
Definitely. Even like it is weird because it's like Naughty Dog, and like now they make literal like the best storytelling. Yeah, like the best storytelling games. Which
The
is
Last
weird.
of Us and Uncharted.
Yeah.
So I wonder what the difference is now versus then. Is it just the components for creating games have changed and there's now a different standard? Because I can remember even when I first got my 360, in the introduction of Xbox achievements and trophies with the PlayStation 3, that changed how I enjoy video games.
Really?
I could enjoy a game that I'm a big achievement and trophy fan.
Oh yeah, that's right. You said you mentioned that before.
So if I'm playing a game, and it could be a really mediocre game, but if the achievement's like
like
1,000
just getting
gamer
into
score,
or
like
whatever.
hand over, like super easy, I'm gonna enjoy that game a lot more.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoy those games.
I really liked one of my favorite games is the remake of Resident Evil 1. So that's another remake, which is funny, like a tie-in. But that remake is like amazing. It's like
it was a remake of the GameCube one, right?
The original.
Well, yeah.
So it was on GameCube, it was on PS1, it was on.
So what it did was there was the PS1 version that came out.
That game's been remade multiple times.
Yeah, and then it got remade
The
for the
director's
GameCube,
cut.
and then the Xbox PS4 ones are a remake of a remake from
Yeah,
the first game.
because the GameCube one got the first scene where he's eating the person, and they didn't show that in the original cut.
It was really badly done.
Yeah, that's why they said that it's the director's cut. But like that game was it was challenging, and like the puzzles were really hard. And it made me think. Two, the achievements were harder to get, but also like
rewarding. Yeah,
so like I definitely I achievement hunted for that game, and I'm not like an achievement hunter. I don't feel that like only if I really really want to get everything in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe I would do that if like Overwatch had more of a. If they had like a story or something, I would try to get every single thing.
With Overwatch, even Overwatch, I don't enjoy that game as much because I look at the achievement list. I'm like, oh my god, that's super time consuming.
Yeah, it's really time.
That's another reason why I don't play games like The Witcher, because I have to invest so much time in the game already.
A lot. And that's a hard game.
And then you have to invest even more time trying to get all the achievements.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's The Witcher. Like, I got to. This is sad, but I got to the part where the witches like are. It's like the Lumperkin or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to fight these witches, and like that made me stop playing the game for a long time because of how hard that was. And then I finally got past them, and then now I'm just like, oh,
where am I?
They're so hard. Like every time I beat an enemy, the next one is so much harder. And but those seem to be the games that people like more. The games that are like harder to.
Challenging.
Like I didn't know in the first Resident Evil that if you didn't like burn their bodies, they came back as Crimson Heads. So like
that was added to the GameCube version. Yeah,
that was so hard. Like
plus you would
because I got the achievement for immediately shooting the guy. And there's a Crimson Head in the first part of the game. Yeah. I shot him because I was like, "Why are you just chilling there?" Bam. He killed me. Like he like chased me down. I was like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Wow, this game's gonna be really hard."
It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, that one's really good. I'm playing through Zero right now.
But even with like you bring up Resident Evil, it's a good point because Resident Evil 7 came out last year, and a lot of people said that the puzzles weren't as challenging, and they're not.
They're not, but it did make me feel like the original game.
Yeah, there was puzzles, so it was like, oh god, this is more Resident Evil, but the puzzles weren't like, oh my god, how do I get past this part? I'm gonna kill somebody.
And there was a lot of like. Extremely similar. So like there's like a gun in the first one that you have to like to get the shotgun you have to put another fake shotgun on the thing. That's literally
there's a lot of
I think that's HD0, and that's like how you get the shotgun in 7. And I was like, but I already know how to do this. I want to be like I mean it's a callback, but at the same time they could have done something cooler like that as the final thing, but make it harder for me to get to it.
So I'll bet money that when they release this expansion, No More Hero or whatever it's called with Chris Redfield for 7.
That's a thing?
Yeah. Like, did you ever beat the game? Oh, okay. So yeah, at the end it's like, yeah, you're gonna play as Chris Redfield in this expansion coming spring of this year, and that didn't happen. They pushed it back.
Oh, okay.
So
is it like...
I seriously think that Resident Evil 7 was like Capcom going, is this kind of what our fans are going to like? Let's dip our toes in the water.
And now you think they're going to go more in depth into it?
And now they're going to be like, all right, this is definitely what they want. Let's open this thing up. Let's throw in some old school things that we have.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Let's go to bigger horizons. Let's not throw as many Easter eggs or as many like safety net kind of things that we know people like. Mm-hmm. And let's try and experiment with this stuff more.
That's going to be weird to play as first person Chris Redfield.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be different for sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
I mean, I am too, because I really like Chris Redfield, but I'm also excited for Resident Evil 2, which is another remake.
It is another remake.
It's like, there's a difference. So, like, there's remakes where, like, there's no effort. I feel like the ones that are good are the ones that they put the most effort into, because they literally are like, we know people want to play this game again. Like, Crash Bandicoot, like, they basically remade the game, you know, all the objects and stuff, and then, like, Resident Evil... They did like an overhaul. I'm pretty sure they rebuilt it from the ground up.
2,
yeah. And well, I know 2, but I meant like the original ones, the 2 Origin collections. I heard that like they reskinned it, but like they made new assets and stuff. I don't know.
I think there's a difference between a remaster and a remake.
Yeah.
And I definitely think games like the Devil May Cry HD collection and the Resident Evil Origins collections are really good versions of remasters. but I wouldn't consider them remakes.
Remakes.
I think a remake is
It was
something
like Resident Evil 2, where they're literally changing
And
the
Crash
entire
Bandicoot,
thing.
yeah.
And Crash Bandicoot. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see in the next couple of years how many companies are like. I mean, you know, Capcom. Capcom's all about the let's rehash. They're re-releasing Resident Evil Revelations for a third system.
And I'll buy it too, which is the sad part.
Yeah,
Because like I like that game a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably be a sucker. And you know, Capcom gets all my money all the time. But I wonder if it's gonna be too much. Because we're not reinventing any new ideas. It's becoming.
I guess it depends
saturated.
I guess it depends on like how much effort it takes. So like Revelations has already been remastered once. How hard you know what I mean? Like they're not rebuilding it. So
I guarantee you, it's the same port that they.
So that's what I'm saying. So like I don't really mind those because they're making money off of it. But as long as it doesn't take time from a future project, I think it's okay.
So let's say if they make the Spyro remaster, you know, it comes out in 2 years, everybody plays it, everybody likes it, and then they go, man, these people really like these old games that they're playing. Let's not focus so much on these new titles and these new creations that we can do. Let's just focus solely on.
It's weird because like they tied Uncharted Legacy is net like if you pre-order that you get Jack and Dexter remake that's coming out,
Legacy,
that's like. They already have Jack and Dexter lined up, which is another one of the big ones that.
And they HD released that for the
PS3.
PlayStation 3.
I mean, I'm not like always like I would enjoy a Jack and Dexter collection on the PS4, but just don't put too much time in it.
Taking away from other projects.
Exactly.
But it would be cool because Crash Bandicoot hasn't so for instance, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon haven't had new releases
in a long time
outside of the Skylanders.
So that was different. Yeah, so that's different. Like even Jack and Dexter, I mean that was a PS2 game that like died off.
But they still remastered it for the PlayStation.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we were just saying that.
Spyro and Crash Bandicoot have had no like the
ports or anything like
the
that.
good Crash Bandicoot games, not like the Titans
or any of that. Yeah,
those haven't had. You know, they haven't had any kind of light of day. God, in over 10 years. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if, you know, there's Crash and there's Spyro. What else is there? What else could they do though?
I was gonna say, I had one on my mind, and then Psychonauts, the first one.
You think they'd remaster Psychonauts or remake Psychonauts?
I think it'd be cool, but I doubt it. Especially with the second one coming out, they are a small team. I just think it'd be cool to have like not even just a port.
I'm
like,
playing
just bring it over
on my PC.
Oh really? Is it fun?
It's so much fun.
I've never played it. I've only seen. I saw like James play it, and I was like,
It's good.
I really want to play it.
It's a really good game. Really
so I'm excited for the second one because that's supposed to come out on PS4. So I'm definitely gonna play that.
If you have a PlayStation VR and you pick up that Psychonauts game for the VR, you get the first game for the PS4.
What?
And part of me is like, I just want to get the VR game just to have.
That's weird.
Because
then you're basically
just having a remaster for Psychonauts.
Wow, okay, I didn't even know. So that's already out. That's crazy. Like we're basically listing off games that we want, and they're already like.
People are already like, yeah, let's totally remaster.
Yeah, let's remaster this. So yeah.
So I think
I just don't like my only thought for saving us from that is that like the newer so Days Gone has a lot of hype around it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have something in my eye.
It's okay.
Anyways,
Days Gone.
They're so loud. Anyway, so
just started over.
Okay, got it. So there's a lot of hype around Days Gone.
Yeah.
And basically there's so like that and God of War, so I don't know if remasters can stand up to that. Crash did well, but it's like
what do they have to compete against?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if Crash had come out alongside World War II Call of Duty, don't know if it would have done as well as it did.
I would have bought Crash Bandicoot.
I would have too, but I'm saying what would other people, because new is always going to be better.
You know what?
And that's a very like pissed off piss people off statement.
Yeah.
But like people, that's just human nature.
So a new
like,
Camaro is going to be better than like an old school. Okay.
At least for younger people, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I understand.
You
That's
know
why
what I mean?
everybody's buying a new iPhone.
Yeah,
every
it's
single
like
day.
exactly. So it's because like
you
it's the
people
new
are
thing.
stupid, by the way.
Yikes.
You're gonna go and buy a new iPhone every single year. How much does an iPhone cost when it comes out? A lot.
That's with a contract.
lot.
It's like 100 and something with a contract.
A lot.
If that, yeah. So have you seen how much phones are without contracts?
A lot.
They're like $1,000. That
Yeah.
shit is nuts.
Stupid. You stupid. Anyway.
Flagged.
Report. I don't like him. I'm angry. Anger react.
But like spelled wrong.
So
I am angry.
but like, I don't know. Like, it would be cool to be able to play some things out, but I want to see new stuff. Even new games nowadays are following formulas of games that aren't, relatively old. So Days Gone is a good example. Watching the trailer for E3,
It is a lot like Last of Us.
it's a lot.
It's
like
a lot.
Last
That was
of
my
Us.
first thought when I was
It is
watching
a
it.
lot like
Yeah.
Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Witwer's a really good motion capture actor, voice actor. He's really good. The part where he gets strung up by the cable
It was
off
very
his
much.
motorcycle,
Yeah.
that was cool. I've never.
Oh
seen
yeah, that was cool. Yeah, it made me think of actually, literally, there's a school over here, and when I was younger, it was funny because it made me think of this. So like, I had like a tricycle or whatever. I was like that young,
and there was
and I was like, and there was a cable, and I didn't see it, and I was like going ham, and then like I hit it, and I was like, and then I fell off of the tricycle, and the tricycle kept going. So that was what I thought of.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh god. And when I hit the ground, I just
That
remembered
rain
that.
knocked
Yeah, I remembered that moment when I saw it in Days Gone. I was like, oh god.
I know that
on a
feeling.
motorcycle.
Right.
He's lucky he didn't chop his head off. Jesus.
or split him right down the middle.
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly. Oh god.
But no, like, Anthem looks like it's a really cool idea. It's going to be really new and inventive.
But we haven't seen a lot.
we haven't seen it a lot.
People are always like, it's revolutionary. It's like, y'all did this with Destiny, though.
How are you going to throw... You can explore everywhere. You can dive underwater and fly everywhere on these worlds. How big are these worlds?
Exactly. That's like Destiny said the same thing. They're like, we're going to have so many aliens and like, you can explore the world. It's like, yeah, but it's like...
Locked you in.
It's like this big, and if I go over in this area, I'm just going to immediately get wrecked by every character in that area. So it's like... I mean, I get that if it's like wildlife. It's like, okay, this is obviously a breeding ground. So, like, I don't know. But it's their answer to, like, the Division and stuff.
Yeah. A lot of people are pumped about Anthem. I'm pumped about Anthem.
I'm excited, but
I'm not
like,
necessarily going to go out and buy it right when it comes out unless I see a lot more stuff.
I'm just so iffy because of what happened with Destiny. Like,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Go ahead, finish what you're saying. You're welcome.
But, go ahead.
I'm excited. Toy Story 3. Toy Story World and Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting. They
finally showed a little bit more.
So,
am I right?
Yeah, so it's weird though because you were just talking about how like you like new stuff, but we're so excited for
sequels and remakes and sequels.
Yeah,
it's in our television. It's in our movies.
Yeah.
It's in our video games. It's the cycle of it's a love-hate. We love to see a story progress, but we hate to see
the same
continuation
of the same game. It's weird though, cause like I'm such a sucker for Uncharted. Like I would buy.
You would buy Uncharted 5 tomorrow.
Yeah, I would
have to see trailers.
Yeah, I don't need trailers. I will buy the next one.
Yeah.
Like I stood in the rain to get my PS4 for Uncharted 4. Like that's how that happened. Like the day the PS4 came out, I was like, I know there's gonna be an Uncharted. Yeah. So as soon as I saw the commercial where he's just like, I'm out, or he said, Sully, I need back in. I was like, money.
Here's my money.
Just like I crammed it in his mouth, and I was just like, "Take my money."
Like, sir, we don't even know what you want.
He's like, "This is Food Lion. Stop!"
No.
Just like crammed it in his mouth.
Food Lion, don't sue us. But so we like sequels. We don't like sequels that follow the same formula of the previous game. If we have a sequel, it's got to be new. It's got to be inventive.
Well, yeah, and that's true. Like Kingdom Hearts is doing this whole new like. Keyblade transformation.
It's always
that's like
you can't say Kingdom Hearts has ever
that's true.
Out.
Yeah, no.
From the first one to the second one, they added the forms, they added dual wielding.
Yeah, and I heard when he found out about like what they did to his ships. So like I don't know if you know about this, but in I think either the first or the second one, I think in the second one, either way, like a different team did the ship part, and when he saw it, he almost like hit the ceiling. Like he was so
cancel the whole game. I don't want to see it anymore.
like,
Get rid of it.
He was pissed. It was because the gummy thing was so confusing.
Gummy ship's back.
So wait, yeah. So have we seen it? Does it look better, or is it the same?
I don't think they've really shown anything off. They were just like.
I want to actually fight like other stuff. Like I don't know.
You don't like Heartless no more?
I like Heartless. I like everything but the ship part in the second one.
Game. Yeah, because the ship part felt dialed. Like
it was very like
you were excited to get to the next level, but then you're like, oh,
I gotta do the gummy ship part. Yeah, it's like. Dang.
As opposed to the first game where you would travel between the worlds. And after like playing the first game like 4 times, you still felt like, oh, I gotta do the ship part.
Yeah.
I hope they like.
Yeah.
I hope they make that more enjoyable. That's been my.
Because if I'm fighting other like ships and they can fight me back, like okay, I'm excited because then I'm like fighting Heartless and stuff like that.
That's been my least favorite part.
You know they said it was supposed to be Heartless and stuff. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
That whole gummy ship idea was just like
Kingdom Hearts is like opening up a can of worms.
Yeah. You never.
It's just a mess. It's just a mess. We could go on. We could have our own like. We could have a whole episode of Frozen in 3D. There's dedicated to just squabbling over Kingdom Hearts. But we're not gonna do that.
I hope Tim Allen and Tom Hanks do the
Dude, that's exactly what I thought when
Twitter,
I saw it.
The Twitter's blowing up. People are tweeting the shit out of him.
Every time, I don't know if it's really James Woods that plays Hades in the Kingdom Hearts games.
Oh, I don't know.
But every time I hear James Woods' subtle tones as Hades in anything, it could be James Woods as Hades for like a musical. I'd be like, yay! I just love his voice. I like that character.
So Hercules is by far my favorite movie ever made, and
the one with The Rock.
Yeah, totally. That's the one. So when I'm watching it, the last like 4th time I watched it, like 4 times ago, because I've seen it so many.
Yeah, 4th time in a row.
Yeah.
Last
week. Yeah. So I was looking at the screen and I was just watching like how good the animation was and how well his like voice acting was, and I was like, man, James Woods really missed his calling of like he should have just been a voice actor.
He does a lot of voice work.
He does, but I don't know.
He's now Family Guy now.
Yeah, which is like weird. I don't know.
I really think it is him though that portrays Hades and all the Kingdom Hearts stuff and any kind of stuff. I think it really is him because you can't.
It sounds like him in the second game at least.
Yeah, and the first game too. I'm playing those games back again. Of course, I'm playing those games again on the PS4 because
I'm playing.
I bought them on the PlayStation 3
and I did too. PS4. That's terrible. I even bought it on PS4 because I was like, I was like, I don't want to put a PS3 up just to play one game when I can just buy both of them on one.
I traded everything in so I could get that Kingdom Hearts.
Oh god, it's so lazy of me, but at the same time, I'm like,
they know though. They know we're gonna do that. Game companies have got to know we're gonna do that.
They're getting smarter. That whole thing with like waiting a few years before they release a game that
we're just plugged into the back of our systems and televisions as gamers, and they could be like, tomorrow we're gonna release these games you already have, but they're gonna be nicer looking and this and that, and we as gamers are gonna be like, okay, here's money. Now with consoles, it's a different story. I personally am not gonna go get an Xbox One X.
I'm not either.
I have an Xbox One. I don't want to get a PS4 Pro. I have a PS4.
Yeah, until mine craps out, I'm not buying a new one.
Exactly.
So, unless they come out with an Uncharted version that's newer, then I might get a new one.
See, I never understood the need. I never got an S. I'm not going to get an X. The Xboxes are weird. They just need an Xbox E, and they have an SEX box. The sex box.
The sex box. And it's just like, instead of the power button, it's just like, insert penis here.
Yeah. It just drains your will to live right there.
Or if you're a female and you, like, it can tell by you, like, touching it or whatever.
Female, you gotta use your penis too.
You gotta use the one under the butt, because that's where it's at.
But yeah, I don't know. What is it with us and like playing old stuff we've already played 100 times before, but it looks new and looks shiny. I guess I can't call iPhone users stupid because I do the same thing, just with different poison, you know?
What, with Android?
No. So they're buying iPhones every year.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'll buy a game I've played already before
and it's
that
the
looks
same
a little
thing.
bit
You just
nicer.
really like it.
Yeah.
I didn't. Well, I'll be honest. I
However,
don't really care about the graphics.
I'm
It's
not
more about-
buying hundreds of dollars worth of cell phones every year. I'm buying
That's
$60 in a game that I've played, years ago.
And you get a lot of replayability out of these games. Crash is like a really fun party game, and so is like, dude, I bought Injustice 2, and I play that stuff all the time. Like,
This episode isn't sponsored by Injustice 2, but hey, Warner Brothers.
won't you pass that dollar over here, please?
Or this guy who does Attack on Titan, you know who he is, I don't. What's his name? Look at the spotlight.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember. That's bad. That's so bad.
Mr. I love Attack on Titan.
I'm rereading it again.
For the 5th time, pretty much.
Oh, there was something Oh, never mind. I don't want to, because
We're gonna
they're
go
not
off
that
topic.
far. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Spoiler alert.
Because a lot of people like Attack on Titan, so I'm not gonna do that. But you should read it if you're not reading it.
Like all the people who should watch the Walking Dead TV show that don't read the comic books.
It's weird because they're at the point now where it doesn't even matter. Like, it's so different. Like, the TV show is so different that, like...
It's following the same plot.
It's weird. So, like, basically, they do this weird thing where they'll kill off a character and you're like, oh, they killed off the character. But then so, like, if they're important in the comic, they don't technically, like, spirit...
Andrea.
Yeah, so
this is a great example. Andrea in the comic books is where Michonne is in the comic books.
No, Sasha.
No, because Michonne and Rick are like...
Yeah, the relationship-wise, but, like, skill-level-wise, she even, like... That's what Adria did, was she got in the bell tower and stuff, and, like, Sasha...
But,
so
like,
that's what I'm saying.
story arc-wise, they're the same person, Michonne and Andrea, from the comics.
Yeah.
However...
And then Carol's, like, replacing Michonne right now.
For people who haven't been reading the comic books lately, I don't know if you're caught up with it. You want to cover your ears. They've killed off Andrea.
Yeah.
Which means...
They might kill off Michonne.
They're going to kill Michonne off in, like, 4 seasons.
Or Sasha. They could kill off Sasha. I haven't read it specifically how it happens. And that's what matters, is whose character
Have you watched the show this season?
Sasha already died?
Yeah. No.
Oh, is she the one that gets killed in the end?
She did.
Really?
Yeah, she did.
Why did they kill her? Spoilers.
Not the governor.
Negan?
Yeah, she like got bit and then she tried to kill him by turning into a walker and biting him, and he was like, nah, and then he like unleashed her out into the.
So they did the thing in the comic backwards.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
So basically, Rosita had her as a biter and tried to give him to her.
Pretty much.
I don't get why they do that, but okay.
I'm excited for Carl to get his little girlfriend.
I am too. I'm excited for the Whispers. I'll watch that all day. Yeah.
Anyway,
that's
we got way off topic.
Well, no. So this will circle back around is like seeing things remade. Like, why is it that we enjoy?
Knowing
it's weird. So like, have you ever felt this way about a TV show? You're like, I can't wait for this part to happen because I know it's gonna happen, and then when it gets there, you're like, whatever. I can't wait for this part to happen.
That's exactly how I felt.
And it's weird. So
when they got to the prison at the end of season 2 of The Walking Dead, that was the pinnacle in the comic books. You know, they hadn't even introduced Negan. I don't think at that point.
No, not yet.
TV show. It was like right about to introduce Negan.
Yeah, that's like right where he was.
But I was like, man, oh my god, it's the prison. Yes, the governor.
Yeah, everything's gonna pop off.
Everything's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And then in the comics, Negan shows up and bashes Glenn in the face in the dome, and you're like, I can't wait till they do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Show. And then they did that in the TV show. I'm
and
like, yeah, that's cool, but wait, the Whisper War.
Yeah, I can't wait till they do that. And then it was like, it's over and over. Like, that's so weird, though, because I'll keep watching it because I want to see that part, and then after I'm like,
It's not, like, I'm not gonna lie, Negan's introduction in this season, like, not the cliffhanger BS that they did, but this season was really good.
Yeah, it was still good.
A lot of people, it was slow.
Governor's was not as good as it was in the comics. For anybody who didn't read the comics but has watched the show, the way the Governor is introduced in the comics is he basically, they're the happy town of Woodbury, and he walks Rick through, like, the festival they're having, and then literally as soon as they get in the office, he chops Rick's hand off.
And throws it
immediately, and then just throws it.
Pit.
Yeah, just immediately.
Does he feed it to his daughter?
He feeds it to his daughter later.
Actually, spoiler alert, if you guys read the comic books but don't know the book series by Robert Kirkman, the Governor in the comics isn't Penny's dad. It's her uncle. and it's really creepy because he open mouth kisses her at one point in the comics.
Oh yeah, that's right. He does do that.
It's her uncle.
That's right. That is weird.
Mm-hmm.
He was way creepier and grotesque and
he got tortured by Michonne.
The comics. Oh yeah, she nailed his dick to a board.
It was great. They needed to do that in the comic.
That everyone was like talking about that. But the one thing I don't like about like people talking about things being remade. So for instance, like when I was in high school, this girl that I was friends with would like tell me how the TV show was stupid because she was like, like Carl had just been shot by when the guy shoots the deer. And she was like, "Oh, in the comics, he doesn't get shot in the chest; he gets shot in the head." And I was like, "What?" So then, like when I got older, and I was in college, and I actually like sat down and read them. I was like, She must not have read these because he gets shot both.
Yeah.
Like.
He gets shot.
But like people do that, like they haven't actually read the comic,
right,
but they've seen panels, so they're like
stripping pieces and stuff.
Yeah, like exactly, like and like it's weird because like. Speaking of watching something that gets you excited,
I was gonna say, are we going off on this one?
No, I was gonna say
Pornhub?
It's weird if you've ever thought about. Have you ever seen like a show's commercial or something, and you're like, that looks so weird, and then you watch it, and it's not what you thought it was,
but it's good.
But it's good. So like Dragon Ball Z, for instance, I really thought it was just like a bunch of like beefy dudes just beating on each other, and like people were like, it's hype. But like it actually has like a coherent story and
plot to it.
Yeah, it's weird. Like,
it's still a bunch of beefy dudes.
Yeah, it is, and it's just like, how did they make a whole arc over one fight? Like it's weird. It's just like
I'm going to blow up this planet in 15 episodes in 5 minutes. My audition, when Chris Ayers or whatever his name doesn't want to do Frieza anymore.
Mm-hmm. So like
bang.
Kind of coming back around to the remake of games. Since I'm looking at the little cloth, we have a Stormblood cloth. Final Fantasy. I don't like the remakes for the original few. How they made them look like chibis. I don't like that.
What you mean?
They look like they're chibis.
Aren't they? Isn't that kind of like how they looked like in the first place?
I guess maybe that's just me because I'm thinking about like the original Japanese couple first ones because they were
pixelated. They were 16, 8-bit. Whatever.
Yeah.
They were pixelated. It would be hard to tell. But yeah, I guess like on the PSP when I played like Final Fantasy 2 again.
I don't know if that one looks different.
It's different. It's more colorful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited and apprehensive about the remake for Final Fantasy 7.
I haven't seen enough. It was weird. That crouching system looked stiff.
Because they're talking about it being episodic. So I don't want it to...
What?
Yeah, you didn't know about this?
No.
It's episodic. I don't want it to be like the greatest hits of Final Fantasy 7, you know? Because
that's
part
weird.
of Final Fantasy 7 that was so good was the ability to explore the world completely. I don't want it to be like an on-rails Final Fantasy 7 where we're like, yeah, this part happens, remember this part? Yeah, let's force it down your throat so you remember it. We're like, oh yeah, that happened, but you don't get to explore
Yeah, because how can you explore the world if it's episodic?
Yeah, exactly. And Final Fantasy VII was all about exploring the world. That's how you met Vincent.
Yeah, I remember. So I watched my dad play it on the PS1, and he used to like go through like the city and stuff like that because it was really interesting.
And even when you get the airship, you can fly around and land.
Yeah.
And explore with chocobos and stuff too. So I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm apprehensive.
Because I thought they said they were going to make it like Final Fantasy 15, which is like the ultimate
combat-wise.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, why would they do... They've never done that before.
What?
Episodic. Isn't the same guy that makes Kingdom Hearts working on it?
The director, I think, is overlooking both of them.
Yeah, but he's got his hands full of Kingdom Hearts right now. He's probably not really paying attention.
I like that remake of Final Fantasy 12. I know you don't like the combat system.
I don't not like it. I just don't... I'm impatient.
So you're like, attack, attack.
Yeah.
So last night I played it. I have my PlayStation 4 downstairs because my wife we've both been having to wake up early.
Mm-hmm.
But on days where I don't have to go to work in the morning, I'll sit downstairs and I'll play the PS4. And I played Nier Automata, and that game was like Devil May Cry combos.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's
pretty crazy.
Everything like that. Mm-hmm. And then I switched to Final Fantasy 12, and my mom was watching me, and she's like, "Why is this so slow?" I'm like, "It's not. Yeah, it's more planned based. It's not just button mashing. You gotta plan it." And I'm like setting gambits and everything, and she's like,
See, like, that part I like. It's just, like, my basic... So, I'm at the point in the game at the very beginning where, like, all I have is a basic attack. So, that's, like... and I haven't sped up the combat.
It's funny.
Is it?
It's really funny. I blew through a dungeon just, like, 4 times speed and, like... load. Good God. What part are you at this point?
I literally got the bounty to go hunt the tomato.
You are at the very beginning.
The very beginning.
Nice.
Did you get farther than that? How far are you?
I'm like, I have a party now.
Alright, I'm gonna have to keep going because I'm
just
digging the story.
Have you played it before?
Yes and no.
Have you ever
It's been a long time. I watched my dad and played the desert part.
There's a lot of desert.
I know,
parts.
like where I've never seen anything else though. I just have walked in and played a little bit of when he was in the desert in the main part.
Okay. So the game is really good. I really enjoy it. It's one. I don't know if it's one of my favorite. I really got hooked into Final Fantasy in 10, and then I played the previous games, and I'm like a big fan now.
I have that one too. 10 and 10-2 remake. I have that, and I haven't even put it in yet.
10 is so good.
Is that turn based?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I'm excited.
you can swap party members out, so some enemies will be weak against certain things.
Certain, like Persona, kind of.
Yeah, so you have to swap your party members out in the battle.
Have you played that? Yeah, Persona's awesome.
Persona's good. I
I
have
know.
a copy.
It's so yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's,
Every time I play it, I'm like,
man.
this is Corey.
it's so good. Like, man, it's got such an addictive story too, which is weird. Like, but then like I got caught off guard when like that monster that has like the penis horn on the toilet comes out.
I've not
Like,
got to this
You haven't
part.
gotten to that. So there's like random enemies will be like really sexualized. Like there's like these devils that like they're horns, but they're right where their dicks should be.
Nice.
And then there's like literally one guy that's huge and he's just like on the toilet and like
Nice.
he heals by just like shitting his brains out.
Nice.
He's like, oh,
It's
like,
Japanese.
it's like, what the fuck?
I got to. So I just got out of the first palace where you're at the school, but it's like a torture center kind of thing by the gym teacher.
Oh, you're at the very beginning.
And like when I first saw him, he's in the robe. I'm like, he does think he's a king, and then I'm like seeing glimpses and like into his robe, and I'm like, is he wearing clothes? And I'm like, I don't think he's wearing clothes. I think he's wearing shoes and a speedo. And then later, I'm like, yeah, he's definitely wearing shoes and a speedo.
Yeah, it's weird. And then, you haven't found out yet, but there's gonna be you're gonna uncover some stuff.
I'm like
that was the other reason the game's really good is because you're like a detective almost, and you're just like, what is he up to? Like you suspect things, and then when you confirm them, you're like, what? What the fuck? Yeah, because it's an interesting game. But does that count as a remake because it was already in Japan?
No, because people over Western civilization haven't played it yet.
That's true.
So I'm playing Persona 5. I'm done playing Crash for the moment. I'm playing Final Fantasy 12, Nair, Nio, and I have The Last Guardian, but I haven't started
Nio's
it.
really good. The Last Guardian's pretty good. I hate when people are like, it's bad because it's buggy. It's like, it's buggy, but look what they did. That's so, like, groundbreaking for
See, that's
games.
the thing. Going back full circle to what we're talking about.
Like gameplay
we want
wise.
new games.
Yeah.
We complain about, we're getting remasters, we're getting sequels. But when we get something new, we're like, nah, it sucks.
Yeah, like, that didn't work.
We're so we're so bitchy.
I'm sure, it's weird. And then, like, or we'll ask for a remake of something, and they'll come out with, like, a sequel, and it's not good enough. Although sometimes they really aren't.
Did you play Revelations 2?
Yeah.
Did you like Resident Evil Revelations 2?
I think it's okay.
I do too.
It's not like
It's not as
the
good as
best
the first
thing.
one.
Yeah, the first one, but the first one, they literally sat down. They were like, "We need to make something better than 6, more like 4," and then they made that one. And then 2 was more of an experiment. And I respect what they tried with the co-op system,
But it was so
like
boring.
Why would you not think that the other person would need a gun?
Why so boring?
You know, that would make it fun.
So, I have speaking of Capcom, I have, this is going back into our sequels thing, I have the collector's edition of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite pre-ordered. I like the statues, I like the Infinity Gems. I hate, so far, out of the demo, I hate the game.
Really? There's a demo?
I hate the game. There's a story demo. And I hate it.
Is the combat bad?
It's so bad. Like back in Ultimate Marvel vs. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, aerial combos so much fun to pull off.
Yeah.
You'd hit them on the ground, launch them in the air, hit them up in the air.
It was a huge part
boom,
of the game.
boom, 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 right? They neutered it so that it's harder to pull those things off. And so I found myself boom, 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 launch. I would get up and I'd just whiff and I'd miss them in the air. And I'm like,
because they have higher gravity, like they fall faster.
Not. It's like the hitboxes aren't there.
Oh, they're like tinier when they're in the air or
I
something?
don't know. I don't know what it is. You'll have to play it. Download it to your PS4 and play it.
I'll have to try it. Who do they let you play as, Captain Marvel?
You can play as Captain Marvel at one point. They let you play part of the story. You get to play
Is
as
the story in
Rocket
here?
Raccoon is really fun to play because his specials involve Groot.
Oh, really?
So you'd be like shooting your like guns and whatever, and all of a sudden you'll call in Groot, and Groot would be like Groot, and like launch his arms across
that's
the
awesome.
screen and slap them around. Like,
I was really hoping it was going to be like a team thing where it was like you play as Groot but Rocket's on his shoulder, and then it would be like the opposite way where it's like his special would require Rocket to like shoot and stuff.
No, you play as Rocket, but when you do special attacks, Groot is the special attacks.
Interesting.
Which is pretty cool.
Is
it works well.
So who did you get to play as in the demo?
You play as, I think you play as Dante, Chris Redfield, Captain America, Iron Man, Chun-Li, Morgan, Captain. Did I say Captain Marvel already?
Yeah, we were talking about it.
Captain Marvel, and there's a couple other people, Thor, and Hawkeye, and it's really cool. I really want it to do well, but I just can't get into it. The combo, and I like fighter games.
Yeah,
I like fighting games. But like I'll get into it. I'm gonna play it again. And I'll let you know. But they did an auto combat system, and it was like auto combo system where you just hit X, and he's like do.
Yeah,
and
like
after I finished the demo and was steamed up about that, and like I pre-ordered the collector's edition. It's gonna set me back over $200. But I turned that off, and then I was just too pissed off to go and try it again. But I'm going to try it again without the auto combo system on it.
And see if you like it better. Yeah, you can always do more without the auto combo. The auto combo is nice when you're just messing around, but like, so I've loved fighters for a long time, but I've never really gotten into like the whole like trying to build my own combo to like fight people online. But when I got Injustice 2, I was like, the combat is just so good. Like,
I love it.
I love it. It's just, oh man, like the other day we have a drunk Injustice gameplay
so
coming
horrible,
at you.
so sloppy.
Yeah, but like I played Hammered again with Brisbane. And
after that?
Yeah, and he was hammered, but he got like I stomped his shit. Like I was like
a swamp thing.
And he played a swamp thing. I went Supergirl, and as soon as it said go, I went. And then I just started like dogging his like I threw him in the air and did like the up punch and just like I was just messing him up. And then you hear Daniel in the background go, holy shit. I was beating people online that had like the level 20 gear on player matches, but I was like, that shit ain't gonna save you if you suck at the game.
Yeah. I think the moral of this episode is to go like, gamers, we don't really know what we like, and we don't really know what we want, and we require adult supervision to tell us what we like.
We need to give talk about Last Guardian and like games weren't as good.
We need to loosen the buttholes.
Yeah, like really,
those sphincters are
exactly because it's like speaking of Injustice 2, it's one of the best fighting games I've played, but it took Mortal Kombat 9, which was like okay and had a lot of like clunkiness. Injustice 1, which was like, it had some characters that were just like almost unplayable for me. Like they were so stiff and harder to play. But then Mortal Kombat X, they finally got it. Like they were like, okay, we took the characters that worked and the mechanics that worked and we're massaging it. And then after that, like Injustice 2 was even better than Mortal Kombat X. Like, I mean, they're both really good, to be honest.
Something that bugs me about Injustice 2 is that they're using Mortal Kombat characters as DLC.
That's so stupid, yeah.
Our buttholes are not tight about this, Warner Brothers. Seriously, if it's a inevitable.
You don't see Superman. If I...
You can't say that. Don't say that you can't see Superman in a Mortal Kombat game because they did DC Heroes versus Mortal Kombat.
And that was terrible. That was bad.
You thought that was bad?
I didn't think it was
didn't
bad.
like
it
fighting?
Just wasn't good.
Whatever.
It wasn't a good game, but I liked
story.
it because I played a Sub-Zero because they finally gave him teleporting, but he was so overpowered. Like, I dogged people because you could just do the lay down teleport, and I was just like, oh, it's over. So people didn't like playing that with me after that.
But I don't know. I think in general
we need to let game companies
we have to have
iron out the
We're
wrinkles.
not professionals. You see it every single day on Facebook, on Twitter, even on Instagram and everything. That keyboard warrior, if they should have done this, and this.
Yeah.
It's not your job to make the decisions. You don't get paid to fight on Facebook with other people.
And you can tell if the game company, honestly, the ones that are really bad, like Brink, they weren't trying. They knew. They had to have focus tested the game. You got formats and what?
I said we got to bring up Brink. I was hyped for Brink.
I know everyone was, and I was like, when that came out, it was like $4 in the first week. That game was some trash because they didn't really care. They just pushed it out as soon as possible to save money and gain money.
I think the gaming industry needs to work a little bit better together. Gamers as a whole.
Well, that's what's weird about. So the remakes are almost not last year, but the year before was the year of the gamer, where it was we have heard you. We're announcing Shenmue 3 or whatever, and Psychonauts 2, and what was the? There was a bunch
Crash
of sequels.
Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced. You know what I mean?
God of War.
Yeah, all the stuff that people were asking for was announced. Oh, Final Fantasy 7 remake. More stuff on 15. It was everything that we asked for. And then, I don't know what happened this year, but people, Sony dropped the ball. That was some trash.
On E3? E3 this year. Microsoft has never...
Killed it. They knocked it. They've never done well. Not stage-wise with their people. I'm saying gameplay-wise, dude. They introduced Metro, the new Metro. I'm hyped for that. Dragon Ball Z Fighters, I'm hyped for that. Anthem, I'm hyped for that. I don't know.
I'm
they just had
for
a
Dragon
better...
Ball Fighters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hyped for Assassin's Creed, but
yeah,
these are console exclusives.
Oh, I'm not talking about a console exclusive.
Yeah,
I'm just saying their show in general, had better games.
Yeah.
But I'm going to buy them for the PS4. I'm just disappointed that Sony didn't show better, why didn't we see Last of Us 2?
We saw... Well, we have to remember that Sony also has their own private convention.
That's true. And But the only reason I give them a pass is because I respect that Naughty Dog is not trying to do the thing where they make that one scene that's awesome for E3, but blow all their budget, so then the whole game is made around that one scene. Kind of like Gears of War every year.
While Sony has its own convention... You're still going to E3. You should still bring the big guns.
Yeah, it's
still try.
That's their literal biggest gun. People would have lost their mind.
Really, I'm really stoked for Spider-Man. I was so happy to see gameplay footage.
I didn't like the QuickTime event.
Oh really?
I didn't like the QuickTime.
I thought it was pretty cool. Mr.
I
Negative.
thought the game. Did you say Mr. Negative?
No, that's what the bad guy is. That he's
I thought you were talking to me.
Not talking to you.
Okay, Mr. Negative.
Okay, there, buddy. No.
So I mean, the gameplay was a lot like the Amazing Spider-Man.
That makes me worried.
And then Miles Morales looked weird to me.
I'm excited for the Spider-Man game. Corey's not excited.
I'm excited for it. I just am
And then Days Gone, I was really hyped for.
I'm still
the previous year.
Yeah.
And then this year, seeing some more of the gameplay footage, my hype level has gone down a little bit.
Well, would it make you even more excited if I told you that that was one of 50 outcomes that people experienced at the demo?
That's pretty cool.
So apparently
it's
terrain,
evolving and stuff.
Yeah, so apparently the weather affects it. What you've already done in the game affects where the people will be and stuff like
That's
that.
pretty cool.
So I was because I said the same thing.
Because it was a little
Last
too much
of
like
Us.
Last
It
of
was
Us.
very much like Last of Us, just with World War Z zombies.
Sneaking around.
Mm-hmm. But this one definitely they were
excited
trying
for
to
Detroit Become Human. There's a lot of cool games that are coming out that are new and inventive and groundbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
But as gamers, we're here going, no, don't do it like that. Or where they're like, yeah, we really like it. But then there are those times with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare where the gamers are the majority going, yo, don't do this. Please don't do this.
And then
And
they do it
Activision's
anyway.
nah, we're going to do this. And then they lose out on so much
That was Infinity
money.
War.
When I say Infinite Warfare?
You said Activision. Only because I
Right.
want to defend Activision because, like, for a long time, me and my friends would bash on them because they did make, like, crap for a while, but, like, they've done Call of Duty the right way.
They brought me one of my favorite games of all
Yeah,
time.
and they kind of mentor Sledgehammer, which is, like, why I think
We'll
it's
see
going to
what
do
happens.
better because, like, I don't know. It's weird because everyone craps on Black Ops 3, and that's fine. They're like, Black Ops 2 is so good, but honestly, like, everyone wanted another Black Ops, and where else were they supposed to go? That's my only thing. It's like, and then Infinite War wasn't a bad campaign. It just was like literally the same
It had
exact
Conor
multiplayer.
McGregor in
like,
it.
Did it really?
Yeah, he's a cameo, and Jon Snow's in it too.
I know Jon Snow's in it.
Yeah, Conor McGregor's like Grunt Marine 3 or something like that. Anyway, going back to how we started this off, remakes, remasters, bringing old
Sequels.
things back from the dead. I want to end it. I want to end this podcast on this note. There's a new Atari console coming.
What? That's a real thing?
It's a real thing. They announced it, I think, yesterday or the day before, and you can buy it in 2 different forms: a slick black version or a one that looks like wood.
So does it just have all the Atari games preloaded
It has,
on it?
but they're going to be making new games for it as well. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that? I think, do I as a consumer want to buy an Atari system?
I don't.
I
I'm sure-
owned an Atari at one point. I played an Atari at one point, but you can buy Atari games on those little joystick, like do. I will let you know that most people that seen this, most of the things I've seen have been like, not a lot of people are hyped for it. It looks really
It's
cool.
weird. Like,
It
how
looks
much
really
is
cool.
it?
Look it up. Look at it.
Let's take a look real
I
quick.
think it's called like the Atari box or something. Which sounds really stupid, by the way.
Wow, it's the first search thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Look at that thing.
Looks like Alienware.
The Atari box. But it's got HDMI ports.
Comes with an SD card.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So does this. Well, the Switch uses it. Well, not SD card. Yeah, it does. It uses SD cards.
That's so weird.
But yeah, Atari is coming back in the gaming realm. Let's see Sega join in and bring like a new system. They can have their Sonic games on it. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays. But I think that's where we're going to end the show today.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about some remakes. We're talking about some remasters. We're talking about stuff. Retro is in, but how long is it going to stay in? And how are we as a community going to take it in a couple years? I personally think that like everything else on the planet, we're going to complain about it come 2 years. If this is a going trend, humankind is going to be like, enough with the remasters.
Yeah, exactly.
Enough with the
Mima
recreates.
Berries. Enough
I'm
with the
tired
Mima
of it. I
Berries.
don't want to see Final Fantasy VII X2 anymore. I'm done.
Season 2.
Yeah. But as always, we are in 3D, and this was Frozen in 3D. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like, give us a subscribe. We're always coming up with different ideas. We're always off the rails here, and we appreciate every bit of support. Have a good one, guys.
Keep it frozen. I went to like cut it off from there.
We have to have a button or something. We just edited
It
it.
got darker.
Yeah.